The Weed Porn Daily podcast is brought to you by the sultry dulcet tones of my voice. That's right. It's also brought to you by 420 Goodie Box. A monthful. Already, I'm reading copy text and I'm already fucking it up. A monthly pot full of can of gear, novelties, and more. 5 to 8 premium items in every box, as low as $19 every month. I think it's like $6 shipping.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No big deal.
And you can save, I think, 10%. I don't know if the coupon still works.
Oh, yes, they always advertise it.
Now 10.
Yeah, now 10.
Get
It's
10% off 420 Goodie Box. It's basically a monthly subscription service for stoners that brings you a kind of random assortment of ganja-related goodies every month to your door. It's like having like a little head shop goodie bag dropped off at your mailbox once a month by the Stoney Elves over at 420 Goodie Box. Highly recommended if you're interested in like what comes in a box, what the box looks like, is it discreet, any kind of information like that. You can see our videos on YouTube, and we do an unboxing video for basically every month
Since they've started.
up till March. Yeah. We're still waiting on our mega box for April. That'll be crazy.
Yeah. And also, if you get your, even if you purchase even one 420 goodie box for your month, you have the opportunity of being entered into a raffle that they have where you can win a mega box. And, it's normally you just post a picture of your box when you get it in the mail or something, and, hashtag them in it. And you have the opportunity of winning a box that's worth sometimes over $100.
I think $300, yeah.
$300. So it's a great return, and all the stuff that you get in the box is amazing.
It's a great assortment of just great brands. What was it? The Chronic Tea. I just saw it in a Cannabis Cup video the other day.
Yeah, I had to point it out, and I had to be like, oh my gosh, look, he's drinking that tea that we got in the cannabis box, or the 420 goodie box.
The cannabis energy drinks, the cones. Urban Grower just did a video with the cones owner over in Spanibus. Like a bunch of vaporizers. Just great products that we use, we give away, but we actually keep a bunch.
We keep a bunch. We're kind of greedy. Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff is just like stuff that I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I needed this, or this is such a great, like, I would have never known to buy something like this.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome things that.
Like what was it? The smoking traveling kit, where it's just like a little wallet where it has little slots for like a pipe, rolling papers, like. Just slots for your pieces,
and for your your lighter, like everything, and it comes all perfectly in this perfect little discreet container. It was awesome, and I love it. And they gave me all these like jars that I can open easily that are from like
Can of Fresh,
and I love them.
Other one.
Yeah, super awesome.
So great products. We're still using them. We gave away like a bunch of them, and I'm sure people are very happy with the products we've given away. 420goodiebox.com. That's all I gotta say. Check them out. 420goodiebox.com. Make sure to also check out the Weed Porn Daily Head Shop. That's right. Your source for hemp wicks, Weed Porn Daily socks, and prints. Actually, prints right now. We're offering a new line of mushroom screen printed sticker prints very soon. We're going to talk about it later in more depth. Okay. But I was trying to surmise it in a few words. It was very hard to encapsulate
cut your own sticker sheet that was printed by hand.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to give him a snippet of the subject matter as well. Yeah. But
a
fungal portrait. But check it out, weedporndaily.com/shop for your hemp wick needs. We have the most affordable hemp wicks out there. It's the best way to light up. It's the best tasting hit. I've ever had. I will not hit something with a lighter if there's a hemp wick in the room. If I can fashion a hemp wick out of like wax quickly, I will. Over a lighter, I will not smoke a lighter. That shit is harsh. It kills the flavor of the hit. It burns at a higher temperature, so it kills a significant amount of the cannabinoids. There are just a number of reasons not to use a lighter.
Ever.
Yeah. They cost a lot more money. Hemp wicks are a significant investment to make if you're looking to invest your your smoking career. Something.
The cannabis game has to be on point, and a hemp wick is
it's a giant candle you can stick in the middle of sessions and have it light your bowls. It's nice. Check it out. Really cheap. Cheapest you're gonna get it. Cheaper than iTal, cheaper than Beeline, cheaper than I don't even know what the other brands are. They're cheaper than any other hemp wick out there. I won't guarantee it because some people get it from like alleyways and crazy like Chinese like people selling them fake hemp. I don't know.
Or people that like steal them and resell them for cheap.
Yeah, but
we are an honest company. We
offer very affordable hemp wicks.
Yes.
I will guarantee it. People flock to us because of our prices. $20 for 400 feet. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Also, check out our Weed Porn Daily socks. They're very affordable. I'd say probably the same thing with like the hemp wicks. So you're not going to find socks like that price, well priced anywhere.
Even the mystery socks. Do you stock those?
The mystery socks are still in stock. That is like a killer thing. That's like a goodie bag. Well, okay, it's not really a goodie bag of marijuana socks.
It's a grab bag.
It's a grab bag, right? It's like one random pair of socks.
But I mean, you're guaranteed an awesome pair of socks. It's just random colors, but it can be like super cool colors. They're all really cool colors, in my opinion.
Yeah. You just take your gamble and you save $2. It's nice. So check it out, weedporndaily.com/shop. And also check out our Society 6 shop. We sell a number of, clothing and accessories and a list of products I can't even get into right now. Just check it out. Rugs, like mugs, everything.
Oh, shower curtains.
Like everything. Society6.com/weedporndaily. And, yeah, that's it for the pimpin', horn, jeering. As always, if you'd like to advertise with Weed Porn Daily, we've actually been getting a significant number of advertising requests recently. I don't know what has caused like the surge. Yeah, because we have steady ads, but then like recently it's just been like a bunch of requests. Like not necessarily like we'll get people like straight up customers who'll be like, "Hey, we want ads. Here's our money. Let's have it. Let's do services." And then we've been getting a lot of people recently who are like, "Hey man, what are your ad services like? Let me think about it. Do you guys offer like trial periods?" I don't know. We've been getting like a lot of odd requests, strange requests. But if you would like to, like I've been directing everybody, if you would like to check out our advertising, just head over to weedporndaily.com/advertise, and you can find all of our advertising packages right there, pretty plain Jane. If you'd like to get in contact with us about promotions, like if you're a company looking to promote a product, if you like to get a brand out there, you're a new brand, established brand, and you're trying to create more exposure for yourself,
reach out to new demographics.
Yeah, we have a complete, huge, giant stoner audience for you to reap from. That's right, we're talking about you guys. Shh, we're talking to the advertisers right now. Don't listen. We love you guys. So we have all these stoner sheep we can flock and herd to you guys. So check it out, weedporndaily.com/advertise. And we have like packages for web-based ads if you're into that kind of graphical, thing on the sidebar. You want like a little GIF. animation representing your company. Or maybe you want to go into podcast ads. You want to hear my sultry voice go over some copy text. Maybe not fumble over it because it's paid for. You know, that might be nice. You could cement your company into history. Because unlike the ads on our website, which run very temporary, and it's kind of like if they see it that month, they see it, and it goes away. With a podcast ad, it stays in our archives forever. So it's embodied as part of WeedPornDaily's, like, history or epilogue.
Archive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to make it epic.
Well, an archive is something that I think has a lot of honor to it, and I think a lot of people underestimate because there's so many people that will revisit things like how Smodco, they have a great archive system, and so does the JRE, and people will go back. People always go back because people are always new. There's always new kids that are like, I really like this. Let me go on a listen binge or like a watch a binge, and they'll watch like a bunch of episodes, and then they'll hear your company for another 10 times. Like, that was a successful purchase, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, Mrs. WeedPornDaily hears me repeating podcast ads all the time. Like, what is it? Dollar Shave. Fucking GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.
Fucking what was it? The when Valentine's Day comes around and Mother's Day, the flower services all start advertising on the podcast.
It's pretty terrible.
So I'm all on. I'm like, you could just tell. I listen to podcasts all the time, and I'm indoctrinated. So podcast ads are very effective.
I think they're very effective. It's so funny. Like, we just think of simple things that we hear all the time, like #powerful. And we know the minute we hear the word powerful, we know Joe Rogan. We know, like, sometimes we say things like, oh, you better get on it, #ONNIT.com. Like, it's crazy how effective those things are and how they become ingrained in our, like, brains. And, people, that happens a lot in a successful advertisement. So podcasts, I always think I'm a huge fan of them. Yeah. So
website ads, podcast ads, and we also offer Instagram and Twitter ads if you're looking for a more the other spectrum
and Tumblr
of the social atmosphere. And if we post them on Instagram, they also happen to end up on Tumblr. So it's a huge, nice big promotion for your company. Make sure to check it out over at weedporndaily.com/advertise. All right, let's get into the podcast, because that was a significant amount of
commercial
foreplay right there. Yeah.
Sorry.
They're like tender. They're like, oh, just stick it in already, please. Spark it up. I feel you. We're about to spark up some. What did I pack the bowl with?
Please don't tell me the.
It was the one that made you sleepy.
Oh, the one that made me sleepy. Okay, the alternative.
Yeah,
the juicy fruit. Okay.
No, not the juicy fruit.
I said the alternative too.
Oh, right. The I forget what it is. It's like a citrusy, like a.
Citrus and musky. We said it was both of those.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hope you got your bowls packed. Hash nails heated. Electronic nails calibrated. I hope you have your edibles consumed prior to this.
We should make it a point to say that at the beginning of the podcast.
Right. Well, we'd have to say it before the podcast even started, really, because it takes a while for edibles to kick in sometimes. That's why you gotta, like, take a little bite and wait like 30 minutes and commit to that 30 minutes. Yeah. Some people don't do that, man. They take a bite, they wait 10 minutes, they're like, man, I don't feel anything. Let me eat the whole thing, and then I'm gonna jump off of a balcony and fuck it up for everybody. Sorry. What?
Baby.
Man. Too soon. I'm sorry.
Just take your hit.
Welcome to the Weed Porn Daily
Oh,
podcast.
careful there.
I'm Grouch, the editor, owner, the asshole behind the ass box of Weed Porn Daily. I'm here with the lovely executive producer, Mrs. Weed Porn Daily.
Hey, good evening. It's good to be here. I hope you post this in the evening.
It posts at 4:20.
Okay, so we're good. Early evening.
Posts at 4:20 in the morning.
Oh,
Late evening. Early morning.
late evening. Late night.
But you can, as always, check out us at WeedPornDaily.com. Follow us on any of those social networks at WeedPornDaily, except for Instagram. It's at Ganja Grouch, and you can follow Mrs. Weedporn Daily
On Instagram as well at Mrs.WPD. So that's MRSWPD. I post things, they're work related, but they're more so like things around the office, things that we're doing together, kind of demystifying the veil of the Weed Porn Daily Ask Box.
Demystifying the veil. Basically posting topless pictures of me while I'm not looking.
Well, he posts topless pictures on his work page all the time.
Not all the time.
A lot
People
of the time.
wish I did more. And some people wish I didn't at all. It was fascinating to see, like, the people who like the topless pictures, and then, like, the guys who were like, oh, unfollow. I can't believe you're gonna post topless pictures of yourself, bro.
Or like
So
it'll
cool.
just be like comments like WTF LOL or WTF no, like gosh guys, like that's
Struggling with that closet door. It's stuck. Sorry. So we've got a little, not too much news to get into. There's like kind of big topics to get into, and then like whatever news to get into, and that's it. And then we just talk like Denver's AGE show, maybe.
Wait, did we have a post for 20
Wrap up.
Did we do that? Why didn't we do that? Everybody else probably has.
We did it on the last podcast, didn't we?
Did we? I don't remember what the last podcast was. It's been so long.
Yeah, I don't remember what we talked about.
Never mind.
I think we talked about 420. Everybody asked me, I was like, what do you want me to say? Like, I smoke weed and I spent...
I wrote a paper. That's right. Yeah, no, we talked about this.
I did homework.
Yeah. Never mind. We talked about this. Okay.
Yeah. So,
To the news.
let's get into the news. A lot of Senate shit. It makes me wonder, like, I'm not too politically savvy, but I wonder if, like, all the state senates just, coincide or convene at the same time or some shit. Probably not. This is all just, like...
Well, voting schedules seem to be very
happening.
regular in
Yeah?
the United States, I feel.
Well, the Minnesota Senate panel approves medical marijuana bill. This comes to us from St. Paul, Minnesota, down the Associated Press line. A Minnesota state... Minnesota. It's the word.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota?
A Minnesota State Senate panel approved legislation on Tuesday that would legalize medical marijuana. The proposal is scheduled to be heard by the Senate Judiciary Committee on Wednesday. The House version of the measure remains stalled, and its prospects are uncertain. Senator Scott Dibble, a Minneapolis Democrat sponsoring the bill, testified on Tuesday before the State and Local Government Committee that the State Health Commissioner, Dr. Edward Ellinger, would have a broad authority in creating Minnesota's medical marijuana program. Interesting. So we see some progress on Minnesota's part. Hopefully we see some progress in the House And hopefully Dr. Edward Ellinger knows what the fuck he's doing. It's interesting how we have this guy in charge of creating the program rather than getting someone from Colorado as a consultant. Well, I'm sure he'll hire someone from Colorado, maybe. I hope.
I hope so.
I hope
or
he has
they're
a
really,
sensibility.
like, I was going to say they're really self-absorbed and they don't realize that they should be really contacting somebody that has, like...
No way,
previous
look at
knowledge.
Colorado. We don't want to become Colorado. Why would we call Colorado? Yeah. But good news, man, for Minnesota. And speaking of senates, we have the Florida Senate passing a bill to legalize strain of marijuana to treat seizures. This comes to us from the Tampa Bay Times, written by Mary Ellen Klaus.
Where are you reading that?
Class.
Klaus? Because it's not Klaus. It's not Klaus. I guess Klaus.
As children who suffer from intractable epilepsy watch from the gallery, the Florida Senate voted 36-3 to allow a limited strain of medical cannabis to be legalized in the state. The chamber immediately sent the so-called Charlotte's Web bill to the House, where its fate remains uncertain as leaders there raise questions about whether an extract could be made safe enough to distribute. For Rayanne Mosley, 11, and her parents, the bill, SB 1030, is her last best hope that she could get a legitimate access to a marijuana extract that could possibly save her life. Rayanne has cerebral palsy and has suffered from intractable epilepsy, a debilitating disease that has failed to respond with surgery and a host of prescription drugs. Anybody who's seen what's that guy? Sanjay Gupta's documentary, even, was it on Weed Wars?
I think it was on
that
Weed
that
Wars.
kid, he had epilepsy,
The kid as
right?
well,
That was like the
pictures.
earliest
Well,
one.
that was, I think, he was probably the first case about children that was really televised and widely spread throughout the United States, yeah.
And I remember you mentioning the other day, it's something that I didn't even, like, notice. The kid was Hispanic, like, specifically. Like, it wasn't a white kid. Because in my mind, I don't see, like Hispanic little kids, they almost look white to me. You're like, or all little kids, really, like...
Oh yeah,
at
kids
some point
just
they
meld
just
together to me, yeah.
Not you know.
But
so
yeah, it was something that we realized that one, it was, I believe it was California, or was, I don't know if it was Colorado or California, but the first thing I thought was like, he's probably gonna be like one of the big generic groups like Puerto Rico or like Dominican Republic or Mexico, probably in California. But it was just really interesting because after that point, then we got people from like inner Colorado, and then we also, where the demographic certainly changes from Hispanics. There's not a large Hispanic population there, and then we're talking about things like New Jersey, and then we have Minnesota as well, and you know, a really upset mothers. I remember that video; it was pretty vicious.
Just the whole East Coast has been lighting up, and it's been a bunch of white moms raising white kids to the air.
Yeah, and they're like, think of my children that are so important. And the first kid that really was, you know, really publicly discussed was, you know, he was a child of color. He was a kid of color. Yeah.
It's like, I wonder what led the momentum. You know, was it people seeing this like white blonde child and that image really getting to them, or was it just the televised aspect of the CNN documentary? You know, that had a wider range than the Weed Wars one. Who's to really say? But this is still really bad kid. Like I mentioned those documentaries because if you've seen it portrayed, it's just really devastating to watch. Like, I've tried to watch those in the morning, and you can't watch those in the morning. You can't start your day with, like, that. And then you have to imagine that these moms and dads have to, like, live their lives like that every single day. They have to watch their child just have that look in their eye like they're not even there, and not be able to function at the age that they're functioning at because they're being held back by this detractable disease, like debilitating disease. It's painful. Yeah. So it definitely watch those docs. Definitely show those docs to people. They've been something that's kind of powerful for parents. You know, if you have parents that are kind of against marijuana and they don't think that it could be used medicinally, you know, showing them these kind of videos really it pulls like the kind of strings that are.
Just a small side note.
Yeah.
Recently, Vice also released. I noticed it's not on our queue for mentionings, but Vice released something that it was like a video on their YouTube page as well as their main website, I guess.
The Vice Japan YouTube page.
Sorry, pardon me. That's correct. It's Vice Japan, and Vice Japan does a lot of really small, little mini docs about like a day in the life of a person, and they did it it was about treating Japanese children with medicinal marijuana, specifically extracts or tinctures, I guess would be the word. And it was specifically like the Dixie.
I was surprised.
Brand
CBD tinctures, the legal ones.
And it was the first time, because I have a hard time watching those like docs and news segments about children that have like seizures, because I've have loved ones that suffered seizures and I couldn't watch it. And but then, you know, the Japanese children one was the first one that I actually sat and watched the child have a seizure on camera, and then the parents, you know, visually they're very uneasy. I can't imagine how they're feeling on the inside, you know, trying to not freak out in front of the camera. And then them, you know, opening a tincture vial and giving it to the child with like some like strawberries, or like it was like lunch or something, and the kid completely like woke up, like their eyes opened wider, and they actually looked at the parent when they were talking to them and when they were asking if they wanted more food. And it was just like...
Well, it literally asked for more of the CBD
the kid
medicine.
literally was asking for more of the CBD.
It
liked it. And they said it thought it was sweet. And the kid was willing to have more. And I was like, can you imagine? Like, the kid is like, I feel better having this. And it tastes really good. Like, can you imagine? And that kid had... Like, Oscar couldn't even tell if the kid was like...
A boy
or a girl, because the kid was just like not moving around. It looked like a sleeping child.
Oh, they also shaved its head through to the... They had to implant a thing into the back of the child's spinal cord to do like electroshock therapy of some sort, and to kind of detract the seizures, and that didn't work, and they had to shave the child bald. And well, the shaving is not the worst part. Installing fucking shit into a child. And
the CBD medicine was so impactful in just literally a matter of like minutes that the parents are now considering moving to the United States because of like there's no options for them where they live, because they don't have the opportunities here in the United States where they have freedom of speech and they can speak out and talk to their senators and become a part of like
the whole
legal movement.
Was fascinating because it really showed the contrast of the kind of pot political spectrum in the U.S. and the one in Japan. Like, we have people here just staunchly out doing marches, protesting, you know, illegally growing, and this whole, you know, televised thing going on. We have docs, and then in Japan it's very quiet. You know, it happens, you know, in like behind closed doors. It happens like out behind mountains. It happens like in discretion. And then when they want to protest, it happens very formally. They send letters. They talk about how they you know, protest to the government, and even the police themselves aren't against it necessarily, but they're literally just following like the law, like robots, like Japanese fucking like
the
must
obedience.
follow law.
Well, it's just like the obedience is a part of their culture and the respect for these kind of authorities.
Yeah, they're like, hey man, I'm not, who am I to say that I'm gonna like change the law for you? I am like way below the law. I'm just an officer. Like, what kind, like, think about that perspective the next time that some like officer is bending the law and like beating you down. Like, well, let me not even say that, because Japanese officers fucking...
They can be aggressive too.
It's like, what is this world? But, sidebar, going all the way back to the article. The Florida Senate has passed the medical bill, and this is something that I was actually discussing with Mrs. WeedPornDaily the other day, because she asked me, or no, was it you? No, I saw it in the ask box. Somebody had asked, because it's a common question, I get it all the time. You know, what do you think of, like, when will my state pass, like, someone's, like, medical marijuana?
Like,
when
any news about my state?
Yeah, when will my state legalize it? And how many years do you think? You know,
You think in 15 years? 10
Yeah.
years? 5 years?
I get, like, every variation of that. And I got one for Florida. And I was like, you know, it's interesting because, like, a week before I got that question, I would have said, like, yeah, man, Florida's like a shoo-in for this legalization, or for medical marijuana at least, because of that Morgan guy. I forget his name. Something Morgan. John
The lawyer?
Morgan? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Central Florida, big
He's been running
campaigning, and now Northern Florida's kind of turning toward it. And
He's
I
got, like,
don't, yeah.
Yeah. The coast.
Yeah, like, all kinds of shit's going down over there. I posted a video of, like, a committee meeting over, like, legalizing in, what was it, St. Petersburg? Or something?
I don't know. I don't know what city they were talking about.
Something. I don't know where that is in Florida. I think that's northern Florida.
Cities. I don't know.
But basically,
it was like a dinner.
Yeah. That was weird. Wow, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Florida.
Also, they were discussing about the passing or the.
Well, not about the. What was I
signing?
talking about before that? I mentioned
They had the committee meeting.
Florida's. Oh, right. So someone asked me basically, you know, when will Florida legalize? And I was gonna say, you know, fuck, when it goes on the ballot, bro. Like, you guys already got that medical marijuana thing, the initiative. It had enough signatures. You know, it's gonna get to the ballot. As soon as you guys vote for it, it gets passed. But now that I'm reading articles like this get put out, and this CBD bill slowly creep its way up the legislature, I'm seeing opposition. I'm seeing failure for Florida in the making here. I'm seeing a lot of distressed mothers, a lot of really uninformed people voting for a CBD bill instead of a more open, more sensible medical marijuana bill. They're gonna vote for a CBD bill, a CBD bill that basically creates a very limited, like, they're saying, like, you know, you're not going to be able to smoke your medicine, you know, only these little kids with epilepsy are going to get it, you know, it's only going to be CBD medicine. Where are we going to get the CBD medicine? Like, people don't think about that. We're going to have to get CBD rich strains from certain seed banks illegally.
So specifically, like, the Charlotte's Web. They keep mentioning it in the article.
Well, yeah, if they get Charlotte's Web, that's if they can get a cut of it from Colorado. And they're not legally allowed to do that because they would essentially be trafficking marijuana over federal lines. So, I don't know what the fuck anyone is thinking right now. So, that CBD bill is just a trench for Floridians to fall into. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to divert a lot of voters, and it's really hard because we have to educate the voters so that they know ahead of time what's going on.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of, it's going to be like 50-50. If 50% of people voting against, like, everything, like, I don't want anything. And then it's going to be 25-25 CBD and medical, or probably like 35 CBD, 15 medical, man.
That's going to be really tough. I can see it too.
I could see a lot of, like, people just like, yeah, man, I want to support the kids, man. And I don't want to support stoners smoking.
Well, I hope that they also realize that the medicinal marijuana is not just for, like, the general, like, 20 to 30-year-old public. It's also going to be for people that are, like, elderly.
In the old folks' homes that flood
suffering.
Florida.
Yeah. Florida has a very large population of the elderly, and they have a lot of, like,
retirees,
retirement villages,
yeah.
veterans. it's a great retiring location, and I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those old people, they gotta realize that they need weed as well.
We shall see. Yeah. Florida is now up in the air. But for what it's worth, like, as much as I'm saying, like, a week ago I was saying Florida would legalize it, a year ago I was saying, like, Florida would never legalize it. We were at a place where, well, maybe not a year ago, like more than a year ago, but you get the point. Like, Florida was, like, not in any position. It was on the radar,
yeah.
And then suddenly some, like, really rich millionaire starts campaigning for it, and some, like, epileptic kids get, like, raised Hakuna Matata, or not Hakuna Matata, but Lion King style, like, yeah, like, towards,
or just like little old people going to, like, what is it called? They had those that guy that was going throughout the state or something.
His like wife, yeah, like fuck, I forget her name.
There was a dude that was using seminars about, like, pot for the elderly or something.
Oh, you're talking about the Silver Tour.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's with, he's like an ex-convict, where he got pinned for pot, and he's out now, and he's doing tours for it, and he's not allowed to.
I also know who you're talking about as well, though. The older woman, the elderly. Yes.
There was an elderly woman who had MS or something, and
there's
she
a whole
grew
bill
cannabis.
named after her. Yeah.
Yeah, and she grew cannabis, and she got arrested for it, and they were like, "Hey, man, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm literally growing this cannabis because I'm disabled and it helps me," and they stopped, prosecuting her. I hope.
I think that she now has, like, a committee protecting her or something like that right now. Yeah.
And there is, like, an act in her name and shit, and yeah. So Florida, a lot of things have happened in Florida that really set this thing in motion. Ugh.
Oh, this was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Cranford's debuts its high THC machine rolled cannabis cigarettes. This comes to us from The Cannabist. The cigarette is an American icon, like it or not. And while big tobacco and anti-American activists alike
Anti-cigarette activists?
What did I say?
You said anti-American. The words are literally right above each other, but you said American, it's cigarette.
Anti-cigarette activists alike can... I'll tell you about these anti-American activists.
Alike
can and will take advantage... Let me just restart that whole sentence.
Sorry.
The cigarette is an American icon, like it or not, and while big tobacco and anti-cigarette activists alike can and will take advantage of its iconic visage, they're not the only ones utilizing its familiarity. A Colorado company debuted its all-marijuana cigarettes a few months ago, and now the Rifle, Colorado-based makers of Cranford's cannabis cigarettes, are hoping their sharply marketed and smartly designed product takes off in Colorado and soon other markets. Man, I have not heard about this company at all.
I've never heard of them before. Let me tell you
about that.
I thought Cranford was like a city. I think it is.
Like, well, I guess because they look like that. That is the appeal. That is because what is it? Those other cigarettes.
That's all you want, huh?
There was those other cigarettes that look really stylish.
Those. They were really like
the
fun.
Blue Dream, and I forget what company does it, but they were basically like pre-rolled joints, and they sold them in cigarette cases, very stylish cigarette cases, and well, not cases, not like metal cases, but boxes.
Cranford is a television show.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, what Cranford's?
Cranford is also a city in New Jersey.
They're really going for that old appeal. Like, look at that logo.
Township of Cranford.
That logo, that type right there. That.
Well, I think it's supposed to be mountains, right? That's like a mountain scape.
Yeah. Like Colorado, I guess. Ugh. Just the colors, everything about that brand. But a lot of people who smoke tobacco cigarettes have tried our products, and they like that it's the same feeling, the way it fits between your fingers, how you smoke it and flick it. said Cranford's chief operating officer Chris Connors. But there's no tobacco in there. It's all marijuana, about 100 milligrams in each cigarette, so they'll definitely make you feel differently than a regular cigarette. Interesting. I highlighted this not because it's necessarily like crazy news or anything, but just to show like how easy it is right now to break into the marijuana industry. Like all you have to do is, just take something that people like and add marijuana to it. Now that marijuana is slowly becoming legal and slowly becoming more socially acceptable, we can slowly start slipping it into the same kind of packaging that other things have been in. We can slowly start sprinkling it onto popcorn. We can start slowly making little aisles for it in our grocery stores and
Greenwise section.
Yeah, throw it in like Whole Foods, man, the organic, or Trader Joe's. Like they need to have like a raw cannabis section and things like that. Just throwing cannabis. Well, that's not exactly what I was thinking of though. This is more for investors and entrepreneurs. Like just like the potential that's here with pot. Like a lot of people are starting to see it and just starting to run towards it. And that's what the next topic is about. Pot entrepreneurs anxiously await marijuana lottery results. This comes to us from Biz Journals, from staff writer Valerie Bauman. For 9 months, Pete O'Neill has been paying $7,800 in a month in rent for 3 retail locations where he hopes to open his own chain of marijuana shops. On Friday, the Washington State Liquor Control Board will announce the winners of the retail license lottery for 334 state licenses to sell marijuana. That's when he'll learn whether that investment will pay off.
My goodness. Oh my gosh.
If he wins, he'll have to wait for the LCB to review and approve the complex application he submitted last fall. O'Neill has done everything right. He gathered 5 investors, raised $160,000, came up with a logo and a name. CNC Shop Limited License Corporated, or LLC, whatever, is an unofficial nod to Cheech and Chong. But his decades of business experience and months of meticulous research and preparation will mean nothing if he doesn't win the Washington State's marijuana lottery. Crazy, isn't it? Like, I don't think people realize what it takes to open marijuana businesses right now. And when people complain about pot prices, I don't think they see what really goes into being the first person to open a cannabis retail outlet. Like $7,800 a month in rent. Like
for a building that he's not currently using or profiting off of. Yeah. He is just dumping money into a hole that he will never see again.
Yeah, for like a chance. Literally a lottery. This is it's quite literal here. It's interesting. At first the lottery system seemed like a good way to do it, like a fair way to go about it. But when people have to go like through this and really like establish, these, what would you call it? They have to actually like rent, like they have to actually say like, hey, well,
it's like applying for a permit. When you apply for a permit, you have to have a location, and when you have your location, you have to prove that you have a contractor. After you say that you have a contractor, you have to prove that you have a licensed architect. The licensed architect have to show that he has a license, and then he has to show that he also has a designer that he's working with, and somebody who's an engineer, and the engineer is approving all the illustrations that are being done by the architect and the designer. There's so many things that need to be looked over for in order to do it, and that's a lot of investing, a lot of space investing. I can't imagine what he's going through right now.
Well, apparently Washington only allows you to have a maximum of 3 locations. He has one in Seattle, one in Linwood, and one in Bremerton. And then not only that, there was a 1,000-foot rule where it had to be away from schools, playgrounds, parks, and other public spaces. So they had to figure out that kind of maneuvering. And then they also had to find a landlord that would rent to them, because there are a number of landlords who just do not want to deal with
the drama.
anything. I don't want to my place raided. I don't want to, I just don't want to associate it with marijuana. I don't want the stench. Whatever excuse they want to make, they just don't have to rent to you. So it's really it'll be really interesting to see what happens in Washington. I've been just standing, waiting to see what happens, because Colorado's just been making these massive moves, making fucking people in South America and internationally just flip their shit and reconsider marijuana legalization with their moves, and making states reconsider it with the tax revenue and just all this stuff. And then Washington is just kind of sitting there fumbling around and still fucking with its medical marijuana system. It is just a show to watch right now in Washington.
And Colorado's cleaning house.
Yeah. Colorado.
So this happened in Colorado, didn't this?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I did any coverage of it. I might have posted a video or two. But there was a glass gallery event. I think at the Revere Glass Gallery. But it was the Denver AGE show. I don't know what AGE stands for. I remember seeing the logo.
It was like American
Glass Expo.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was a really vintage logo.
Kind of like Art Nouveau.
Yeah.
Meets 1970s.
So I found a really amazing photo album
compilation
of 66 images of the event. Excuse me. And they were all shot by the Revere Glass Gallery. And they're just great, crisp HD photos. I'm going to be posting them up on the AGE tag, probably Revere Glass tag. Just search for it. You'll probably find it.
Oh, that was cool. What was that? Go back up. No, one more. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Like the drawing on it. It's very old world, kind of illustration work. That's cool. That's cool. Looks
So yeah,
like
we're looking
porcelain.
at a mini tube here, beaker rig.
Looks like it's a national.
And it looks like it's porcelain because it's probably a crushed opal. And then we've got on the neck, I don't know what
Those are
kind of work
pansies.
that is.
Those are pansies,
Yeah,
and
some
those
flowers
are
and
mushrooms,
bees,
and
flowers.
and butterflies.
Butterflies, yeah.
It looks like porcelain illustrations, like old world, like Austria, Eastern Germany-esque illustrations. Yeah.
Very beautiful, very clean. The reason I wanted to look at this gallery with you, and this album is because
with you, the people, or me?
You specifically. I know it's hard. I wanted to look at it with the perspective of artists. As
Right,
we
of
as us
course.
as artists, because I tend to lose grasp of that. Holding the WeedPornDaily mantle, and I like to highlight that perspective, because
I
I've
didn't
spent
know that. Yeah,
I've
okay.
spent so many years trained as an artist, so I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
talk about it, I guess.
I'm a really big fan of glass blowing. I mean, since I was really young too, since middle school, really, I was a huge fan of glass working. So for a long time I followed it. I mean, and I didn't follow it in the sense of glass pieces, obviously, but
Yeah, we were talking about how this type of event would be a lot
Yeah,
more
totally dig.
accessible for us. Not as crazy as a Cannabis Cup or any other convention, but it's just a nice gallery event where you can just walk around, critique some art and discuss
see
it
cool,
and get
cool
inspired.
pieces, yeah.
Really, I just love being inspired by the kind of work that we see.
And seeing colors and seeing it's very
And
cool.
getting excited. I look at some pieces and I'm like, oh, I love that piece. of this work. You know, maybe not the whole piece. You know, maybe in the future I'm gonna ask like a glass blower to like take that piece and take another piece
and
from another bong I
incorporate
like.
something
Yeah,
from
and make
it.
something
Yeah.
sick, or maybe I'll find one like that, or just being able to see it.
And just highlighting artists, you know, that's also a great thing.
Let me change the layout here.
I like that layout.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's good? Okay. Because the
You
other one
just
was
go
like really
slow.
nice. Because these images are really HD. Like
Wait,
I sat
what other thing were we looking at? What other layout?
I sat looking at it in the horizontal layout on my widescreen computer, and I could just like sit and look at like the glass piece, like this one, like where it's all pendants, and you can
Yeah.
just sit and admire like all the pendants
Very cool.
as well.
You have to press allow.
There we go. Now we're full screen. We're looking at some intense
I
recyclers
can see, like,
here.
my mouse. Watch.
No, you can't. Oh, that's whack. But we saw I think a video of this event.
We
A
indeed.
dude walking around with like a fucking
Do I say who it is? 'Cause I know who it is.
flamethrower. What?
Who was the people who recorded it? I know who recorded it.
Who recorded it? Weed Maps?
Yeah.
Was it Weed Maps?
It was Weed Maps. It was Gil, and he was going around interviewing people and talking
Yeah.
to people and stuff, and they showed clips. Yeah.
It was a nice little like clip, if not heavy on the dubstep. But it showed some of the interesting pieces. The photos are really better though. It gets you a way broader look, because from the video it gave me this impression that the event was really focused on a very particular like style, or like they were like they told the artist like, you need to do creatures or something, you know, like this is what we're doing.
It was like things that interest obviously the cameraman.
Or I guess that's what it was, because it was all just like they showed like fish, they showed this, and we're looking. Yeah, I saw that earlier. That's sick, right?
It's a slop cup.
Exactly. Or maybe a dabbuccino. I'm not
It
sure.
looks like a dabbuccino. I can see it.
Yeah. That little dabbuccino rig with, what's the guy's name? Heisenberg?
That is not Heisenberg.
Who is it? The guy from Breaking
Isn't
Bad?
it this?
Who? Malaikwis?
Yeah, each picture has like a title on it.
That's the artist, I think.
Oh, it's the artist?
Yeah, that's the guy from Breaking Bad.
Are you sure this is the guy from Breaking Bad? Because the guy from Breaking Bad is like
We gotta cook.
white. Yeah. Jesse, we gotta cook, yeah.
Because he's bald.
I guess.
I
It doesn't look like Walter White, though.
No.
I mean,
It
a really
looks,
great...
honestly, it just looks like the generic white guy with like horn rimmed glasses. Like that is
Yeah.
like a very generic villain.
Yeah.
It could be the guy from Heroes if he had a goatee.
Yeah, and his nose is like crooked and his glasses are crooked. But I mean, okay. That's me being nitpicky, and that's me being, I've never picked up, glass before and really done it myself. I mean, I actually am taking a glass class next semester.
Yeah.
That was a surprising one. But yeah, it's really well done in terms of like the attempt at like realism, I guess, like for glass, for that size. Because I'm sure that says like that looks like a spoon. It's probably the size of like my hand or something. It's pretty small. That's pretty good. It's pretty decent. You gotta give it to him. I don't know how I feel about the circuit boarding.
It's interesting. Like
This
there's a
circuit
certain
boarding looks like a vector that I've taken off of Google Images and used in a poster for class.
Yeah.
It looks like what is it called? Like a vector EPS file that I got
Like
for
a
free.
template,
Like
yeah.
of circuit boards. Yeah, it looks like it totally.
But I mean, we're looking at like, I don't even know what this is. I don't know if it's a rig.
Robot, and I think it is
I
a
think
rig.
it's a non-functional rig. Maybe it's a functional rig. I don't even know.
Well, we've been seeing this guy, and he like basically like stickers, like stuff on the pieces. Remember the quotes?
Like, yeah,
This is the
like,
same guy.
I want to like walk up and touch it, because I can't believe that it's not just a sticker.
I think
that
it
he
is a
puts
sticker
on.
because I feel like I see the side of the sticker here. You
Right.
see it? Do you see
But
it?
I think that's literally him sandblasting it, and then the black is like the stamp. Like how you mentioned earlier when we were looking at screen prints and registering.
Yeah.
Like that.
Maybe we'll have to see them again sometime.
Those are really nice. Sure. Well, that's just a nice picture. It captured the Sherlock wall.
Yeah.
Fucking
Sure,
appropriating some Native American culture here. What's up, bro? What's up?
I don't like technologist piece. I like this piece.
Black
You know
opal.
why I like this piece a lot?
What?
This reminds me of like late 1980s, 80s, early 1990s interior room decoration for like the average high school kid.
We're looking at a rig here. Looks like a Healthstone rig.
I want one. I like it a lot.
Because it actually has a... Well, no, I guess it's not really necessarily a Healthstone rig. It's
but it
just
looks like the shape of it, though.
just a hash. Nail rig.
This piece a lot.
But the particular features of the rig is that it has black over the kind of base, over the vapor tube, over the, like, there's a mouthpiece ring, and the black is composed of these kind of like glittery sprinkles.
They're like flecks of color.
Flecks of
light.
Probably like crushed stone, yeah. And then they actually put little stars and planets and stuff in there. So that was a nice little touch. It actually looks like a galaxy over here.
Yeah.
Or like a...
I see the star and I see Saturn.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty sick.
I think it's really cute. I really like that piece.
And of course it has like a little marble insert onto
Looks
the
like a real
base.
planet.
And it looks like it's
and
a
it
very
looks like
sick
a moon.
marble.
It looks like a satellite.
Oh, I didn't even notice that marble. Yeah, it looks like a moon coming off of the base.
That's cool. I like it a lot.
Very nice piece.
Don't know, some detail shots, some spoons, some digging some crazy stuff here.
Well, literally, this is the con floor or whatever.
It's a good shot.
But damn, that con floor. Like, we could just do some cosplay of that.
Yeah.
But Minion's setup was very nice. I appreciate someone who takes the time to set up their booth and really
create an environment.
Yes, and create a display and take care to it and set as like a setting.
They really carried their like whole body of work through the whole thing. Yeah.
Definitely. Because if you just put those Merc Minion pieces down on a table with how gritty they are and stuff, it really doesn't convey it that well on like a white. But if you put them in their natural setting, it really sells them. Yeah, these are really, really stellar necklaces here. Done by, I'm assuming, El Jefe. God damn, these are like right here we're seeing a mandala overlaid onto a spiral like vortex. Like, I don't even...
I really like them.
These are... I would, like, scoop these up in a heartbeat. And each one would probably be $5,000 or something.
Oh, yeah. These are interesting. Oh, they're like the molecules, right? Like,
yeah, like capillaries maybe inspired.
Well, it looks like just like the chemical breakdown of the cannabinoids or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Simple pieces. Ooh, Justin Carter, kind of
interesting. Cool. This is very
I
interesting
like it.
technique.
I want one.
Justin Carter with like just his base glass, whatever he's working with. It's like a black with a kind of crushed.
Looks like some like fleckled, like light reflecting
orange or like a reddish orange.
Well, you can see here that it changes color a little.
Yeah. And then it's I believe a recycler. It's like a
pearlescent. There you go. Pearlescent's a good word.
It's a recycler, and on the top of the recycler it has a marble, and can't even begin to describe this marble. It looks like if you could imagine the eye of Sauron. And then imagine like the eye of Jesus, like the opposite, and that is like it, like like every time.
That's a really good like.
Instead of it being like red, it's like blue and majestic and angelic.
That's a really good way of like explaining it.
And I don't even know what the fuck is this. It's like where a marble would be, but it's just a giant.
It is a marble.
It is essentially a marble,
like
but.
Us.
It's like an exemplification of his that technique of like that mixing of like the flecking of. See, I wish I knew glass blowing, He's like mixing something in there. I wish I knew like more mineral names. Some topaz.
I always like glass with like blue, like heavy on the blue.
Blue lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed some of the show people and stuff setting out particularly blue-based lights, and I was like, a good fucking move, because anybody that goes by and takes a shot with their camera is gonna have the blue light flooding it and taking over that kind of nasty yellow lighting that tends to come from rooms. Just going through the gallery here, you guys should definitely check out this album. It's just works of art after works of art. It's Millet's art glass. Some decent pieces, like rigs I can definitely see a lot of people liking. But then they just drop onto this marble, bro. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily Millet's, but goddamn. It's just a little marble with like roses in it, and it's very reminiscent of this one particular artist that they featured on Glassheads recently on Reddit. Recently, like a month ago or 2 months.
I remember this.
And it was like a glass artist that his specialty was just like orbs of just scenes, and it would just be like a grassy meadow and like a flower and like a honeybee and shit, and do like wet dew petals, and it was just so perfect that it was just stellar. Like he could accomplish that with glass. Like, it wasn't just sculptures that he inserted into like some cheap glass. This was all glass work. It was
like within.
Yeah, glass within glass inception, like craziness. That more Dappuccinos. I don't know if I like these Dappuccinos though.
Well, they're for a different audience. Don't judge.
I guess. Yeah, it looks like stained glass almost. I don't know what kind of.
It's not stained glass. It's frosted glass, and that is like just like colored glass work basically.
Yeah, it reminds me of like when you buy those kits, like paint glass as a kid, and reminiscent of that. I'm always a fan of fish stuff when it's done well.
Yeah. Classy.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's nice to see vases taking place at a glass gallery event. Like, of course, ceramics are going to come into play. And it's nice to see the Sherlock on top of the vase, like they incorporated like a vase top, or I think it might just be like it's probably like removable. Wow, like I can't even begin to imagine what kind of madness created that.
I'm glad we don't have to describe it, because they can just look at it themselves.
Seriously, wow. Like, if you think Chris Carlson has some basket weaving stuff going on, just look at this gallery. He's probably here.
That's really cool.
This is very interesting. Cool. I don't even know what's going on. Yeah, let's just keep going. I think we've set our piece with this gallery. You guys could definitely check it out. Was it? Let me see if I can. They posted it on Reddit. Revere Glass on Reddit. If you're having a hard time finding it on WeedPornDaily. But it's an imager gallery. But that's it for the news, man. If you'd like to follow along, I didn't mention it earlier. We post all the news with the podcast post, and as you can just search for it on the top Google search thing, through the tags, through Google itself. Yeah. Mrs.WPD is blogging mid podcast.
Sorry, I apologize. I hope I didn't distract you. I just like to post.
I'm not just informing them that you are. They can go to your Instagram and see today's episode on there.
See us talking about the beautiful little marble that you were just discussing.
So, WeedPornDaily news, man.
Yay.
Let's finally
Let's
get
talk
to
about
that.
ourselves finally.
I know.
So
What's
self-absorbed.
up?
Yay.
Let's inflate some egos here. Ours. Yeah. Actually, we have a sale going on. I'm surprised I didn't mention it in the shop ad earlier. I should have. As always, you can get 10% off using the coupon code PODCAST if you listen to the podcast. POTCAST. That gets you 10% off. Or for a limited time, we have another 10% off coupon for Cinco de Mayo. And it's Cinco de Mota. So that's like, figure it out, bro.
No, let's do this. Cinco CINCODE. It's what is it? Mota. Yeah, MOTA. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to mix them up. Yeah.
So that's the coop. Scoop them up. I already saw a couple of orders. Like, I threw up a promotional graphic for it, and I got 2 orders immediately.
Sick.
Utilizing the coupon. That's what's up.
Getting the best deal on that hemp wick, I believe, right?
Yeah, they ordered hemp wick, and somebody ordered some cream and chocolate socks. That was nice. But we have prints going up soon. That's right. Those. You want to talk about those? I don't know. You can describe those better.
You want to finish tagging this for me?
Sure.
So yeah, I've been doing printmaking, and I did a print exchange today. You could have seen that on my Instagram. Went around with some fellow artists, local artists, and we all agreed, bring 13 editions. 13 people participated, and we received like 1 copy of each of our fellow artists' work. And what I did was that I did a double edition. So I did an A edition and a B edition. So A edition was what I gave away to the 13 other artists that participated. But I did a special run just for you guys, for the Weed Porn Daily audience. One of the fun topics here at the Weed Porn Daily office is mushrooms, and I am a really big fan of just mushrooms and really organic nature, foliage, and drawing them and painting them and stuff like that. I have done it for a long time.
And those like medical book illustration-esque.
Yes.
Like, what is it? Nature book.
Like Lewis and Clark, early explorer-esque illustration work that shows representational art. And I don't know. I just did a single run on some Mohawk brand 13 by 19 sticker paper, and I did some cut your own stickers of some beautiful different species of mushrooms, stuff like I have all of their scientific names, Sarcodon atrovirides and stuff like that, some crazy names. But
Russula,
yeah, so Russula flavida, yeah. But it's gonna be a really interesting print. I have them all printed and everything like that. I'm really excited to see if people are interested in that, because I recently got in contact with a printing press, or a print press studio, and they're willing to collaborate and allow me to use their facilities, and so hopefully we'll get more art prints in the future. Hopefully I'll be more engaged in that thing. So if you're interested in art prints that are not necessarily weed centric but are in the vein of it, and stuff like that, keep an eye out. If you're interested, hit me up, talk to me on Twitter and Instagram, because nobody ever talks to me.
Pouty face.
Drop the mic.
Done. I'm out. Yeah, but we're gonna try to put up your prints in the Weed Porn Daily shop. I have to take
tomorrow,
pictures
hopefully, or the day after
of them. I have to. You have to write the description out,
that's easy.
get it up, Are you gonna do them as a series, a numbered series?
Yeah, it is a number series.
It's gonna be like a numbered series if you guys are interested.
It's limited. The official negative of the print is destroyed. It no longer exists, so there are no longer anymore. So they're going to be a very much limited run.
Yep. There you go. Bam. Drop the mic. Now she drops the mic. He's like, wait. Let me pick up the mic. I got a couple more things to say. Limited run. Now I'm done.
Oh. What is it? Super hot fire.
Slow your roll, girlfriend. Don't forget, we still have plenty of our own other
prints.
my prints, I guess, for sale on the website. They're Glycine prints. I can't believe it's not legal. Medical marijuana with the WeedPornDaily logo, and the flower of life mandala design.
Cool posters that you can post up in your room or post up in your office space, workspace.
Yeah, I also have that magic mushroom print. It's a larger 8x8 print. Frameable, definitely. Yeah.
All of them are frameable.
Yeah, they're all frameable, definitely. But the 8x8, like, it just like, I don't know. It's just like made for framing. I guess they're all made for framing. I don't know. I just look at it and it says frame me. Twerks, like all I'm seeing is like a booty icon, liking her post on Instagram. I disapprove of this.
It was liking a picture of you.
I have mild feelings about this. I have reserved feeling about this.
Sorry, I distracted him.
Yeah, I was lost on this list. We're basically done talking about WeedPornDaily stuff. There's not too much to discuss
Oh yeah.
this week. There's still huge news to discuss. We hinted at a mysterious thing that we're gonna talk about. Big drama.
What?
The drama's still unfolding.
What?
We're finding more information about it, as we research it and as we slowly build our case and rally people to our side. I'm going to be going to the Canadian audience, and hoping that they're more liberal, they're more, really, just the fact that we'll have a common enemy. Let's just put it that way. All right.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Everybody is asking that. I'm being so vague. I know. We'll have some really big shit to drop at some point eventually. But in the meantime, I'm working on a recipe book. I've been posting a lot of shakes and a lot of my culinary creations on Instagram, and I've been getting a fair amount of reception for them, and people interested in the recipes and just interested in
their ingredients,
interested in more, and things like that. So I for a while I'd been interested in creating a kind of cannabis cookbook, and I'm utilizing this as kind of like a portal or like a avenue towards sort of that road. Whereas I thought I would just create like a cannabis cookbook, it's slowly turning into, I'm gonna create like a cannabis breakfast book, and then create like a cannabis healthy living book, and then create like a cannabis be fat book, and then create and like a big compendium or like a series of or a stoner smoothie book. So I'm slowly framing that out. And now that I'm getting an idea of what I want and what's possible and what people want specifically, I'm ironing that out. And you'll slowly start to see recipes on the website, actually. I want to start making it kind of like an article feature thing, part of the website. Incorporate We Have the Munchies, definitely. Just more munchie related content coming your way. Definitely.
We're in the kitchen.
Yeah. We have a nice kitchen space to utilize for videography purposes soon. So it'll be nice to get some soy food esque videos, mate. Right, some fridge cam with the bong.
With the bong.
It's like, yeah.
That would be terrible. Like, you open the fridge door, and instead of condiments on the door and stuff like that, you see little pipes and pieces.
Little containers of hash and yeah.
You can't do that with my
No?
fridge.
Why not, baby? Come on.
No.
It's for the internet. It's for the...
I gotta do it for the Vine.
Gotta do it. Yeah, man. Get those 6 seconds of fame. So that's it for Weed Porn Daily News. I've been like, just working hard. Haven't been closing anything vital of
No.
yours? No, okay. I've just been, yeah. I've been working hard and shit.
It's been non-stop work for you.
Yeah. Like, what was it? You were telling me the other day that you had to describe me to your friends or some shit.
I was at my jury's, and a friend of a girl that I knew in high school that I recently like encountered her, and he asked like what do I do, and what do I do in my profession and things like that. And I discussed you, and I discussed our business, and he was like, oh, so like when do you go out and stuff? And I was like, we don't go out. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, do you go on dates with your boyfriend and whatever? And I was like, not really. I mean, dates are really like either us going out to do errands, and that to us is like going out and being with each other. So we'll go to like the hardware store and go to the supermarket and go to the wholesale market and stuff like that.
And maybe end it with like McDonald's and call it dinner.
Yeah, we'll call it dinner, or we'll go to like the burger place down the road and go there. And that's just like an hour meal, and we go home and go back to work, and that's kind of it. And he was freaking out. He honestly was like shocked by my just pure honesty about the situation with us, and how we work our business, and our business consumes us 24/7, and sometimes it's like crazy to get a break. Yeah.
Which is soon.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true.
Excuse me.
Do we want to talk about that? We don't.
Well, no. I don't know. Well, we'll talk about it on the next podcast, because we'll be back to talk about it.
We'll have a secret vacation coming up.
Yeah. A little very short. A little quick one. Yeah. And then we'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you guys are getting plenty stoned. I hope you guys are enjoying the post 420 like bake. Like, you guys are you just smoke so much. There are still that many residual cannabinoids rocking around in your system that maybe one day you just scratch yourself the wrong way and you just get like a little too ooh.
You crack your neck.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh. Unlock something. But thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. I appreciate every single shop purchase. That's been insane. The fact that it's been like a consistent flow since it's opened, it blows me away. The fact that it's become like a job.
A real job for you, yeah.
It's crazy.
You have to run by time schedules.
No, I'm fighting that. But
we just had to.
Yeah. But basically, yeah, I have a job because of you guys. It's all due to the generosity of the fans. I have a lot of people where they'll be like, hey, I'm just buying this not necessarily because it's like a crazy product or anything, but I want to support you. Like, I'll go get like raw papers like with my wholesale license or some shit, but I'm buying them from you because I want to support you. Like, I have people like wanting to just like throw down money on the table, like donate, because they support us, and I appreciate that kind of commitment. Like, it's crazy to know that I've impacted people that much with the news or with like just posting consistent enough weed porn, or I don't know, just anything, just being there. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of it, and but I look forward to like cultivating a kind of community where people just kind of smoke and chill with each other, whether it's like on the website, whether it's like a smoke lounge in the future, or a dispensary that we own, or what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we have to take a hint from like Coral and come up with our own tag that people can like hashtag it, and it's like WPD like people.
WPD worldwide.
Yeah.
Weed porn worldwide.
No.
Weed porn nation.
No, we don't want to move the word daily on it because we don't want people to.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But thank you guys for listening. Again, it will be endless thanks, because I don't know. So I know a lot of people, due to the character that I portray, it's kind of like the Colbert Report or things like that, or Jon Stewart, where people just assume that the character that I portray on the ass box is like
it's
me.
Who I am, yeah.
And that I'm like some like unapologetic, ungrateful asshole. I was trying to.
And it's funny you just say that, because one of the things I've been like trying to squeeze it into the conversation, I haven't yet figured out, but one of the things that made me so happy, so very happy, was recently we got a small influx of people that were commenting on our microphone and how there was a drop in quality and there was a drop in sound, and we're like, people are actually listening to the podcast. And it was because people weren't actually paying attention and knew that we dropped the microphone, and the microphone has been struggling to be working at maximum capacity. It's kind of like the sound quality dropped significantly, so we're working on a broken mic. But it was just so nice to receive a message saying, like, people commenting and critiquing the podcast, because I feel like nobody listens to us. Yeah, they probably aren't listening now.
I'm talking to an empty room. No, that'll be in like 40 years when we're recording podcasts and it's just me and you. We're wrinkly, we're on rocking chairs, and like nobody else. Like we're saving the podcast, and we're like, here, grandchildren, listen to them, and they're like, yeah, whatever.
They're like, who uses MP3s anymore?
What the fuck? Like, can you convert this to my like anal probe?
Baby.
Google Glass thing. What? I have a bright future in mind.
You have a South Park future in mind.
Yeah, I'm influenced by that episode that we watched.
Or the game.
Or just life, yeah, with South Park. Watching too much of it in general. Again, I'm trying to wrap this shit up. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, but yeah, you mentioned it. There's people reaching out. We appreciate when people reach out. Because as much as you may not believe it, people listen to it and just don't reach out. Because like me, like I listen to a lot of podcasts and I just, I don't know. I don't need to tweet at Kevin Smith.
You don't like, comment, and subscribe?
Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends.
Sorry.
I hope you guys take a long draw from the joint bong dabbing device. I don't know what you youngsters are using. But I hope your lungs are filled to capacity with the cloud of cannabinoids, and they're drawn into your system, and with that close of your eyes, you open them up into a brand new, more beautiful world. Thank you guys for listening. Stay regular, super stoners. And stay regular on Mrs.WPD's part.
Hey.
Hey. I was just... You gotta say goodbye or something.
Oh, I don't know.
Goodbye. For now.
To you, my friend.
But stay regular, super stoners.
Good night.